Hey, good morning. I'm your host, BKP. We are at Circuit World in Blue Ridge. I wanted to wear my denim jacket. It's right over there. I got in trouble. I was told I could not wear my denim jacket. I mean, I'm thinking about showing up one Friday. I'm thinking about today ordering a bedazzler or something and doing the collar of my denim jacket and wearing it on Fridays. I don't see anything wrong with that. I'm your host, BKP. I love Fridays. And what about this weather, folks, right? And don't get too excited. We all know nice little cold snap will be coming through, maybe one or two more. And but let's take it while we have it, enjoy it, and not complain. 77 degrees yesterday, sitting on the side porch weather. Sorry, folks, don't try this at home. Only try it on your side porch. Nice cigar, whatever, okay? So we good, Amanda?
We're good.
Okay, I just double checking.
Yeah.
Because you had that look on your face like, I don't know if we're good or not, and I didn't know.
That's just my face.
Oh, okay, because you gave me a whole lot of rules before we started. Anyhow, Circuit World, Blue Ridge, I'm your host, BKP. Did I tell him that? Yes. At 8:15, we have Ask the Doc with Dr. William Whaley. He'll be in here to answer several questions that we have set up for him. We love that segment, 8:15. Georgia Cancer Specialist, we thank you very much for that segment. At 8:45, we'll have the All-Star Panel. The All-Star Panel, we're going to cover several things. Some of the speeches that have been made this week, the president's listening sessions that he has held, AR-15s, gun control, staged town halls by CNN, scripted questions and scripted speeches by young people. We're going to talk about that. The All-Star Panel, 8:45. So don't miss that. That's the All-Star Panel. At 9:30, we're going to talk to with Jason Banks. We always do a Team FYN Sports, a quick North Georgia weekend review of what's going on in sports. So that'll be at 9:30. And then at 9:45, we always round out this great Friday show with the Pet of the Week from the Humane Society of Blue Ridge. Favorite part. I'm telling you, you're going to stay for that because it's time to adopt your new family, lifelong friend. And we always bring one for you to see at 9:45 from the Humane Society in Blue Ridge. Now, last night, before we get started, okay, we've got a lot to go over, right? Last night, baseball season. Now, you know, I love all sports, okay? Oh, stop right there. Stop right there. Stop the presses. Stop. Hold on. Way to go. USA girls, ladies, women, whatever. Hockey team, the gold, baby. The gold medal. And who got the silver? The Spoil Sports of Canada. What's wrong? I thought you guys loved everybody and everything. I thought in Canada you didn't care if you got a silver medal or bronze. I thought, hey, it was just kumbaya up there in Canada. But no, the one Canadian young lady just got her silver medal and just took it right off. Well, we're sorry. We won. Winners, losers, USA girls hockey team. I know I shouldn't have done that, but I can't help it. Love it. Love those ladies. Great job. Sorry to all my hoser friends up there. Okay. What do they say up there in Canada? Good day? No, that's in Australia. Good day. Huh? Hey. All right. So I want to thank Angelo Nicolosi. Okay. Not for the pizza because, yes, they have a pizza place. But Angelo Nicolosi has sent, he is the recruiting coordinator for Valdosta State. Angelo Nicolosi sent BKP his number 25 Valdosta State jersey. I got that yesterday. Thank you, Angelo Nicolosi, recruiting coordinator at Valdosta State. You know how I am about baseball. I love all sports. I really do. Well, there's one that I just kindly edge on, but we're not going to bring that up this morning. But when it comes to baseball season, folks, you know me by now. So last night I'm doing the workup, and I'm trying to say, because last night the Fannin Rebels played the Gilmer Bobcats right here at home. I do the announcing in the booth, and I was getting my workup going. Playing shortstop, number 2, coming to the plate, Chandler Kendall. Up to bat. Standing on second, a stand-up double off the wall. Jack Gobble. I was practicing that last night. I got my rosters with me here, so I had a lot of fun. Okay, so let's move into today's show. On a serious note, one, we have the passing. It's so interesting how unforeseen, unscripted, CNN, this is how it works, unscripted. Unforeseen, unscripted events in the world cumulate, I don't know if I got that right, but they come together to happen at one time. And this week we have the passing, and I'm going to say passing because I don't generally like to say somebody passed away, but I'll say passing. And this week we had the passing of the great evangelist, worldwide evangelist Billy Graham, passing from this world into heaven. Now, there's some of us out here that actually believe that exists and everything, you know, that have that mental illness, much like myself. But anyhow, that happened this week. Billy Graham will lay in state. Now, we'll talk about that with the All-Star panel. He will lay in state in the Capitol Rotunda. The last civilian to lay in state, Rosa Parks, 5 years ago, civil rights activist Rosa Parks, 5 years ago. And there's, I think, only been 3 civilians to lay in state at the Capitol Rotunda. But Billy Graham will lay in state there for the public to come and walk by and pay respects. Okay, what has happened this week? Parkland, Florida. And it seems like an eternity to go back and think about 17 kids are dead. Somebody walked in with a firearm and killed 17 kids. We find out an armed deputy outside did not enter the school, stayed outside. But doesn't that seem like in the instantaneous massive information world that we're in, that happened a long time ago? And now this week, we have done nothing but talk about school security, AR-15s, common sense gun legislation, raising the age of to buy a rifle. The discussion has been all week. And it comes to me that what we are doing, and this is this simple to me, and I know there's some that's not going to agree. What we are doing after watching everything is we are adjusting to living in the evils of the world. That's what we're doing. See, we're not focusing on the evils of the world, and I'm not going to do a morning sermon for you, but we are not focusing on the evils of the world. We're focusing on how to adjust to live within the evils of the world. And that just concerns me. Now, it's easy to go on TV and yell school security. It's easy to go on TV and talk about allowing teachers to have weapons. Okay, I actually support that. We'll get into. It's easy to do that. It's easy to use sound bites to tickle our ears that there's some solution. But most of these people that are talking about the solution have not visited a high school campus in the United States and actually looked around. Now, I myself know of several high school campuses where they've become just that, a campus. They have building A, they have building B, they have building C. They have the big building where the athletic and the gym classes are held and the training is held and the weightlifting classes. And then they have a big building for agricultural and it's all has classes. And then they have the main building on these campuses. And then they have the performing arts center where the band and all these other places they go. What do we do? Because you can go to almost any high school in America now and you have children that have to go to several areas, do we actually going to get to the point we have armed guards escort between classes, stand outside and watch the walkways between the main building and the media center so the kids can go, the performing arts center, to band or to gym or to the Votech area or to the agriculture area? You see, they come up and we have a week full of soundbite solutions. Our schools are on total lockdown. Now, don't get me wrong in any way whatsoever, because I don't want misunderstood. I said on this show a week ago, send out a form to every teacher in your school system and ask them to voluntarily apply to carry a firearm and offer compensation for it. You know, we sit here today, and if we're looking for a high school football coach, and God knows BKP loves his football, and I'm on the sideline every Friday night. You know that. Everybody on the other side of the camera that knows me knows on Friday night this fall, I will be on the sideline of high school football somewhere in America. But we will argue, we will fuss, we will fill the Board of Education, just fill it flat full to see what we're going to pay our next high school football coach. And it's okay. See what we're going to pay the assistant coaches. But let us discuss just for a minute of a volunteer system where teachers decide if they want to carry a firearm and go through the background, go through the training, and maybe get some compensation. Well, it's like we've really done something terrible. I don't think so. Our schools are on lockdown. We live in a world where we're pushing as fast as we can to legalize marijuana everywhere, and we demonize tobacco. Why? Because we wanted to take out the big money of the tobacco lobbyists, right? But we demonized. That's where the money was. That's where the taxes are, right? But we have pushed to legalize. I'm going to say this in a joking way. We have locked these schools down so hard. What area can a kid sneak out anymore and smoke a joint or a cigarette and get back into school and nobody not know it? I mean, I'm not advocating that. But do you realize we are cheering locking these schools up so hard? It's bad enough we gave the kids to the government. Now we're going to put them in these institutions, whether you want to accept that or not, that are on total lockdown, to where you, the parent, have to buzz in and you have to look up at a camera. And you, the parent, they will then have to probably go back and identify you on a database. Yes, that is John Doe's mother. We know that. Okay, go see if there's a file on John Doe's mother before you hit the buzzer. But they're your kids. Folks, everything, we're going to talk to the All-Star panel, but everything about the solutions, okay, great. I'm with you. When Wayne LaPierre or whatever from the NRA says we protect our banks, we protect this, we protect our diamonds, we protect everything, but we don't protect our children. Okay, I agree. When the president had a listening session with everybody this week, I agree. I'm okay with that. But I just wonder if we're understanding that we're adjusting to living in the evils of the world. Not one time this week did you hear that discussion, especially from who? Now, that discussion may have taken place, but from who? The media? No, not going to hear it. I'm running late. It's 8:14. We're going to take a break on BKP. We're going to talk about this with the All-Star panel. You got your AARP card out there, and you get all the discounts, rental car, the attack on the NRA. You can order, you could go to Visa or some bank, and you can order your Visa card today with the sports emblem of your choice. You can be walking around with a Visa Jets card. You can be walking around with a Visa Giants card. You can be walking around with any, they have all of these sponsored cards, but they are cutting off the NRA. So if you're out there and you're holding a Visa card that says Visa or maybe, and I'm not taking down Visa banks. There's certain banks, not all of Visa cards, but certain banks that have Visa, MasterCard that say NRA. I tell you what, you're holding something you better hang on to, because that's not going to happen much longer. Your discounts for being an NRA member, you remember that? They're going after those people. Like Rent-A-Car, if you're an NRA member, you get certain Rent-A-Car discounts, going after those people. We're going to talk to the All-Star panel about all of this. When we come back, we have Ask the Doc with Dr. William Whaley, and we'll be back right after these messages.
All I do is win, 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 no matter what. Got money on my mind, I can never get enough. And every time I step up in the building, everybody hands go up. And they stay there, and they say yeah, and they say there. Cause all I do is win, win, win. And if you going in, put your hands in the air, make them stay there. All I do is win, win.
The Tupelo Tea mission is to provide over 80 premium tea blends for tea lovers who are looking for ways to explore new flavors and blends. Come visit Tupelo Tea, located in beautiful downtown Blue Ridge at Sycamore Crossing. Be sure to sample our various varieties of honey and tea. Visit us on the web at tupelotea.com or call us at 706-946-TEAS. That's TEAS. Tupelo Tea, located in beautiful downtown Blue Ridge.
Better days ahead.
It's just this simple. Nobody beats Days on price. If it's a Chevy, you'll pay less at Days Chevrolet in Jasper. Now save $4,000 off a new 2018 Chevy Malibu, or save up to $10,000 off a new 2018 Silverado Crew Cab. It doesn't matter which Chevy you choose. Nobody beats Days on price. $10,000 off Silverados and $4,000 off Malibus at Days Chevy in Jasper.
Better days ahead. Days Chevrolet.
Find new roads.
Papa's Pizza to Go in downtown Blue Ridge is the best in the area all-you-can-eat buffet. Call ahead or order online now at papaspizzatogo.com. Use our convenient pickup window for the best in pizza, subs, wings, breadsticks, salads, and more. And be sure to check out our lively game room. We serve lunch and dinner, catering available, take out or dine in. Papa's Pizza to Go in Blue Ridge, proud sponsors of the Fannin County Rebels.
What you gonna do with all that junk?
Hey, we're back. I'm your host, BKP, and we're at Circuit World here in Blue Ridge. Beautiful Friday morning, downtown Blue Ridge. And we thank the Georgia Cancer Specialist for this segment, and we welcome Dr. William Whaley with us. Dr. Whaley, how are you?
I'm great. You got your coat off, and you said it's a beautiful day in downtown Blue Ridge, and it was 79 degrees yesterday.
Yes.
What's the next topic that comes up after that?
Allergies.
Pollen count.
Allergies.
Yes.
I understand.
I took mine.
Oh, yes.
I took mine this morning.
No, I didn't.
always get this in February. I told you last week that in Atlanta, those little, what are they, daffodils are going to be poking up their heads. Well, they're poked up their heads in Blue Ridge, if you'll notice. Even some of the little yellow things are out, but certainly other things are out. So the pollen count is high now for things. You were talking about plants, and you didn't know anything about the different plants. Me either. For alder, juniper, and elm. Now, I know what an oak tree looks like, and a maple tree looks like, and a pine tree looks like, but I couldn't anymore find you an alder, a juniper, and an elm than I could find an honest man in the Democratic administration. So that's what we're blowing our nose for here.
Okay. I'm hard-headed. You know, I usually wait for any kind of allergy medication until I just get up and my eyes are just watered and tears are running out of them. I finally stop.
I mean, we don't have any Costco's up here, so I'm going to say this. You can get 365 10 milligram loratadines, which is Claritin, at Costco for $14, and you get 10 Claritin at the regular drugstore for $14.
Okay.
So they're cheap, and I'm taking them.
Write that down.
I'm also blowing my nose.
We're gonna order that online today.
All right.
Okay, so let's get right into, before we get started with our questions, because allergies, yes,
Do you
but it
have
is
that
beautiful.
map? Did that map come up?
Yes, it did.
Show that map, and we'll talk just a minute about the flu.
Okay, we're back to the flu.
We're back.
Allergy. Okay, show the
Okay,
map.
all right. You got the map?
I got it.
Now, is it really obvious that that map is bright red in virtually everywhere except Oregon, Hawaii?
Yeah, just the.
That's the distribution of the flu in the United States at serious, severe levels where emergency rooms have shut down access to people with flu-like symptoms and are meeting them in the parking lot or in trailers. And in all of those states, as of yesterday, the CDC says, take your flu shot. Now, who ever heard of getting a flu shot the last week in February? Not me. I've never heard of it. But that flu epidemic is going to go on till mid-May, and that map came out last night. So there's your
Mid-May.
flu update.
Okay.
And it's very serious. Georgia's the worst state in the union. Okay.
Okay, allergy, flu. There's 1, 2. Any current event opening statements before we get to questions?
No, I'm not going to get into the.
Nothing?
I'm not getting into the NRA or gun control because you know me. Jane's Twitter account, they posted, this is a typical bot or non-real person, and it was Jane's. I'm a 70-year-old grandmother, Christian.
So when they took her Twitter account and labeled it not a real person?
Not a real person. So she went back and said, I'm a real person. I said, well, did you tell him that your husband is a 78-year-old, still employed deputy sheriff, and he carries a gun? She says, no, but I will this morning. But
wow,
so
can't wait to hear it.
I'm not getting into the NRA card or the gun control card.
Okay, I can understand.
You can understand why. All right.
Yes, I can understand. Now, this is interesting to me, and I like this question because I really only drink water. I don't drink carbonated drinks.
Oh, you're going into that one first.
Yeah, can I go there first?
Go anywhere you want. I spent hours on the gene question. But
Nope.
we'll go into
No.
that. No.
I wanted that one last.
Okay, good.
All
Let's
right,
go for the water
yeah.
question. All right,
But
go.
actually, I only drink water, but I drink with lemon. Everywhere I go, when I go to a restaurant, water with lemon. Is that help prevent kidney stones? Also, I've been told not to drink city water. What is the best water to drink? And water with lemon, does it help prevent kidney stones?
Let's just leave the water with lemon out because it's the water that would help prevent the kidney stones. A little bit of acid would make it more likely that you'd have a uric acid kidney stone and less likely that you'd have a calcium kidney stone. So it depends on the person. So you can't blanketly say that. So let's go back to the water. Yes, a good intake of water of any type will diminish the possibility that you'll have kidney stones of either type because the concentration of the chemical in the urine would be less. But let's get back to the tap water, because so the answer to the question about the kidney stones is yes, water can help a little, and lemon would only help one type and not much, but it's basically the water that would help. Let's get into the is bottled water better, which is what the basic what the question actually was.
I've been told not to drink city water.
Okay.
What is the best water to drink?
That's really the big question here. I've been told not to drink city water. What's the best water to drink? Probably the biggest hype in the world, not just in America, is the bottled water craze in developed countries. If you take Central and South America, Africa, Asia, and places with developing economies, the only safe water is bottled. And that water is city water from some place like America that has been filtered and put in a bottle. It's not spring water or anything else. Dasani water, which is, I think, the largest seller in the United States, is tap water. Aquafina water, which is the second biggest seller in the United States, is tap water. So the issue is the convenience of the bottled water and the sort of erroneous thought that something's wrong with city water. I actually got into the Blue Ridge water. There's 10 pages here that I've gotten from the feds, but Blue Ridge water is totally 100% safe. They are much more highly regulated than the people who make the bottled water. So the product that gets delivered to your house is not only safe to drink, but probably better to drink than bottled water, particularly if there are children in the house or adults who have teeth. Adults who have teeth, because some adults don't have teeth, or adults who happen to have bones. So if anybody in the house has a bone or a tooth or a child, then city water has fluoride in it and bottled water doesn't. Now you got those doomsday people, and you know you've got one on your panel at 10 o'clock, at 8:45, who thinks that everything that anybody does bottled water is not safe because the Illuminati is putting something in it that's going to control our minds or something. So you got it. The answer to that's the truth. I mean, I don't know what she says, but just ask her. But the bottled water, the city water that is delivered to your house is totally safe, much more highly regulated than bottled water, and it contains just the additive that I mentioned, fluoride, which is beneficial to preventing tooth decay in kids, bone health in adults. And my generation, we all went to the dentist before we ever had adult teeth, and then we had dental stuff all the way through high school. They didn't have any Novocaine. They drilled us to death. I've got 4 daughters, and I don't recall any of the 4 ever having had a cavity. That's not because of Colgate. That's because of fluoride in the water. Now, here's where the issue happens. Much of the housing in this area, for example, my house is 60 years old, and some of the plumbing is 60 years old. And the product delivered to the house may be safe, but the product delivered to the sink may not, because of the deteriorating copper pipe or lead pipe. And the recommendation is, if you're in an older home that doesn't all have plastic plumbing, that you go and get your water tested at least once when you buy the place, and then every few years, so that you're not drinking water that deteriorates when it gets to your house. You still with me?
Mm-hmm.
Lastly, if you take all the bottled bottles of water that are consumed in the United States, and 500 million are consumed a day, and stack them up, they will go back and forth to the moon 8 times in 1 year. And the issue is the pollution that they're getting from that bottle, and the energy that's consumed in making that bottle, and then what happens to that bottle after you get finished with it. So there's no expert in the world who's not a doomsday person who suggests that you drink bottled water in developed countries, and everybody says drink bottled water in third world countries because what comes out of the pipe will kill you.
Drinking bottled water, not to bore the audience, but my favorite Leave It to Beaver episode is when Beaver gets tipped off that Mayfield's going to shut down the water for the afternoon, so he goes and he gets a major big jug full of water, and he puts it in his wagon. Then they shut it off, and all the older kids are doing chores in the middle of the summer, and there's no water, and Beaver's going around and he's selling water, and Wally looks at him and says, "Beav, no one will ever pay for water." And that's one of my favorite episodes because no one would ever pay for water, and boy, do we buy it.
That water costs you 2,000 times what the equal amount of water out of a tap costs. And I want to remind you one more time that the largest water in America is Dasani, second's Aquafina, and both of them are tap water. Both of them are tap water.
So if
Go one more place. I told you to get your water tested at your house. There is on the federal websites and state websites a listing of the different types of filters that you can install at your home and the different kind of filters that you can put the pitcher in your refrigerator.
Right.
And virtually all of the marketed filters will take out what your bad plumbing has put in. Lastly, people say, well, I like the taste of bottled water. We used to do a game at our Christmas parties where Jane would get generic peanut butter and Jiffy and all the other peanut butters and put them out on crackers, and you had to say, you didn't know which one they were, and you had to taste test them. And you did the same thing with Godiva chocolate and Hershey chocolate, and you did it with expensive wines and everything else. But generally, the water that won was generally always tap water. And in taste tests, every taste test that's ever been done, the tap water wins. So,
well,
some people say they do it because of taste are snobs, and they're not telling you the truth.
We have to move on, but we covered bottle and we covered tap, but we missed the good old well water.
Okay, well water is an issue up here as well. Number one.
Why did I bring it up?
We have well water at our house.
I have well water.
Okay, but we're not using it. We're using city water, and the well water we could use for irrigation. But you should have your water tested every year, because what's in the ground can change from time to time.
I agree with that.
Well water should be tested every year. It's going to have a much higher chance of having cryptosporidium in it, which is a bacteria that causes big epidemics and kills people. It doesn't appear when it does appear in city water, and it did not long ago somewhere out in Texas. They shut down the water system. They had to go into the water system. They brought water in trucks for days, and then they have to flush all the pipes out, and then they have to flush the pipes out with something that kills cryptosporidium. So it's a really big deal. But if you have well water, then you need to get the well water tested. Your county will do that for you. I think it's free once a year.
Okay, moving right along. Our second question, do childhood earaches cause hearing loss later in life?
All right, so this is a great question, and I could spend hours and weeks on that. Put up that picture of the ear, and put up the, if you put up the picture of the ear, or if you put up the chart, we'll pull it down quick. Okay, the chart up. Okay, that chart, you look at it, it's got 25 things written on it. But they're divided into 3 sections. One section at the upper left-hand side says conductive or outer ear causes. The one on the right-hand side says sensorineural causes, meaning the nerve supply. And then there's a category called mixed between the two. After the outer ear, the middle ear. So those are all conductive and the others are nerve. So get down the chart and then put up a picture of the ear. And here's your picture of the ear so you can look at it. This is a beautiful, well-designed illustration of the ear. And I'm going to start with stuff that's really sort of easy. You are well aware that there are, in this room right this minute, there are 2, 4, 6, 7 people. And of these 7 people, I guarantee you that 4 have a hearing loss. And the 4 that have a hearing loss, and I left you out. I don't think you have a
Oh.
hearing loss.
Okay.
The 4 that have a hearing loss
I have somebody I want you to tell that to.
the 4 that have a hearing loss have gray hair. And
Okay, keep going.
in addition to the gray hair hearing loss, there are 40 million people in this country with hearing loss. The hearing loss of the external conductive type is you go to the doctor, it's in one ear rather than the other. You look in the ear and it's occluded. It's got wax in there. It may have a piece of cotton from a Q-tip in there, or it's actually just obstructed. There's a thing called a cholesteatoma, which is a big collection of just sloughed off skin that can plug up the ear. But those external conductive things are really easy because you go in there and they're removed. But the conductive things between that eardrum, which is, if you look here where these bones are, there with the little circles
Right,
of the
right.
bones. Okay. Where the bones are, those are arthritis of the bones, so to speak. And the arthritis of the bones, they fuse. And to be able to move the tympanic membrane and then go over to the oval membrane and transmit the sound, they have to be able to articulate. And so as we age and they get sclerotic, that's an aging phenomenon. The question was, can hearing loss come from childhood earaches? And the answer is absolutely yes. Because the general childhood earache, and if you look at that thing, the eustachian tube's kind of hard to see, but the ear, you pop the ear when you go up and down a mountain, drains through a real tiny tube called the eustachian tube into the back of the nose. And when a kid gets a sinus infection, gets an allergy to the alder, the juniper, and the elm, and his ear doesn't drain like it's supposed to, and he gets fluid behind the ear, and it is left to sit there, that becomes glue, then that can set up and lead to a permanent lifetime hearing loss. And that's why when children seem to have screaming earaches, infection, and they have difficulty, you say, Johnny, go, Johnny, and you keep talking to Johnny from behind him, and Johnny doesn't answer. But when you go in front of Johnny, Johnny answers you and does what you tell him. Johnny can't hear. And Johnny is seeing you, your facial expressions, if he's pre-verbal, or your movements or whatever, and he's responding to you like he hears you. So it's very important. The person who wrote this question is right on. It's very important that if your kid's got a screaming earache, or if you're standing behind him or to the side talking to him or her and they're not responding to you, you get them to a doctor because it can cause permanent lifetime hearing loss.
There you go, folks, and I do appreciate that question. And there's nothing that when my children were our children were little, there was nothing that broke my heart than the kids having an earache. I mean, just a screaming earache. Do childhood earaches cause hearing loss later in life? Yes, it can cause permanent damage. Get those kids to a doctor. I really appreciate your answers on those questions right there. Now, I asked a question last week, and immediately I was told that's not a medical question. That's not a question asked the doc. That's what I was told, okay? But we watch commercials all day long that say that if we'll send them so-and-so and swab the inside of our cheek, they will tell us Irish and this and this and this and this. Can I ask that question?
Yeah, I probably spent 4 hours on this because I think it's so important.
Because it's happening now more and more that people are wanting their DNA tested. And so go ahead.
All right. This is called direct-to-consumer advertising
Yes, yes.
of personal genome sequencing services.
I'm gonna struggle to remember that one.
You don't need to remember it. But this is direct-to-consumer advertising. So I want to comment originally about when you watching the TV and you see an advertisement for a drug like Opdivo that says if your lung cancer has recurred after 2 different types of lung cancer, ask your doctor about Opdivo, you got to think what small proportion of the audience is in that category
Right.
to use that drug. Well, this direct-to-consumer advertising is for 100% of people. Okay, the history behind this is it was in 2006 that the company 23andMe began to market genetic services, and they were touting it as screening you for serious medical conditions, and the emphasis was on medical conditions, and the minority was on the ancestry and genealogy. So that's the history of 2006. They began to market this thing, and in 2013, the FDA shut them down. And they shut them down because their accuracy, their concordance, the value and the interpretation of you have a tendency to breast cancer or to Alzheimer's disease or whatever was not accurate and was driving people out to consider getting bilateral mastectomies or getting colonoscopies in their teens or doing things that were harmful with genetic data that was not accurate. And as of yesterday, this is the official statement about all of these different genetic testings. These reports suggest risk prediction remains unreliable. An interpretation of results for most should be approached with caution. So now we're talking about that the FDA shut them down in 2013. So there wouldn't be any ads today, would there? So now, 2015, this is a huge profit center. So 23andMe and others applied to the FDA to remarket the studies for only a very limited number of advertising, only a very limited number of diseases. One called Bloom syndrome I've never even heard of, which is a rare genetic disorder. There are a few diseases like Crohn's disease, late onset Alzheimer's, a clotting disorder, and celiac disease that you can get some predictability by these gene tests. So they allowed them to remarket the tests in 2015 or 16, which is why you're seeing the burst of advertising now. So, are they accurate? Okay, here's what happens. If you take 3 identical twins are all the same egg and the same genetics, and you submit their blood to the people, then you should get 3 identical tests, right?
Yes, I would say that. I mean,
Yeah.
Okay, all right, I'm with you.
It's
All
the same person 3 times. Or you take 5 swabs from you, and you send the 5 swabs from you in with 5 different names. You should get 5 of the exact
same test. So if I do 5 swabs and send one in as John, one in as Bill, one in as Larry,
Yeah.
John, Bill, and Larry should get the same result.
Exact same result.
Oh, okay.
Now,
Aha.
now here's where it comes up. You get about 50% agreement in the part that's diabetes, heart disease, lupus, and that sort of stuff. You get about 66% agreement in some of the other things, and you get about 70% agreement on the I'm Scandinavian, African, Italian. So the way they're advertising it today is to emphasize, learn about your ancestry
Yes,
and
that's the
not-
marketing.
not the disease. But what they give you back is a panel that has all these disease things in it that to really interpret it, you need the assistance of a professional. And family doctors are not trained. The people that are trained to give you the value here are genetic counselors and people in either an expert in Crohn's disease, breast cancer, or the disease you're worried about, who will know about the genetics of that disease, or my wife's family has gone to a genetic counselor because of an high index of suspicion of colon cancer, and they got tested for everything, and they had a real genetic counselor help them interpret it. The danger of these tests are that people who are overly concerned about health will see that thing saying that breast cancer may be elevated, and do like I said at the very outset, go to their doctor and say, here's the gene thing. I listened to Angelina Jolie, and I want to have bilateral mastectomies to prevent me from having breast cancer. I just can't sleep at night. It just worries the heck out of me that I got this thing, and I want my breasts off. Well, unfortunately, that's the downside, and that is what happens. Now, if you're giving it to somebody because they really want to know, are they ex-Vikings from Scandinavia, or are they swarthy lovers from Italy or something, as I say, the concordance part in terms of your ancestry is only, if you send your own blood in there 5 times, is only 60 to 80% the same, but it still gives you some trend. I'm 7% Neanderthal, or whatever it was. Jane gave us these years ago, and she told you, I knew you were Neanderthal, and everybody else was 1% Neanderthal. So if you're doing it...
So this was a good question.
Oh, yeah, it's a great question. Because if somebody's doing it
Okay.
for fun,
For fun.
to know about the
Okay.
ancestry thing, and I really am Scotch, I can go around with one of those skirts, or I really am Italian, I
Right.
could be eating pasta all the time and making, making
No wonder
a lover.
no wonder I like gravy, and that's actually tomato sauce. All right, no wonder I like the gravy, right? So when we see it on TV, if you don't want to put all your stock in it and don't want to have something come back with results that's just going to, just if for fun, you do it. But outside of that,
when you get into looking at the diseases, you have to take it with a big grain of salt. Now, there's a beneficial part. For example, let's say it said you have an increased incidence of type 2 diabetes, which we discussed last week. Well, if you went with that report to your doctor, said, I got an increased chance of having type 2 diabetes, he would do a screening test that the insurance might not pay for, the A1C hemoglobin, which most adults probably ought to have to tell them where their blood sugar is. And then he would tell you, you need to lose 15 kilos. 15 kilos is 36 pounds, right? So he
I'm
would
working
get
on
you on an exercise program. No, but what I'm saying is that test might be the push that gets Leroy to lose weight and start exercising. So that was a beneficial effect. Second, when they see that just may have an increased incidence of breast cancer, that might be the push. I've got patients that have never had a mammogram that get that patient to go to their family doctor, have a breast exam, and order a mammogram. That part's all beneficial. But if you give it to somebody that's just is really nervous and, sort of paranoid about their health, and they go in and want to have bilateral mastectomies, then it's overinterpretation of exactly the same piece of information. You got it?
I got
so
it.
That piece of information, appropriately handled, can drive people into health habits and screening tests. That's a good thing. What I was trying to emphasize was that if you're a scaredy cat, you start looking at that stuff and you start trying to, oh my God, I need to do this, I need to do that. Or another one, late onset Alzheimer's, make people say, I can't find my car keys. Alzheimer's is getting me.
yeah, exactly.
And I said once before, I can't find my car keys either. That's okay.
And I'm holding them in my hand.
Yeah, that's
I'm
okay.
walking around with them.
So you gotta, the fun part is you're either a Viking or you're an Italian lover or I'm part Neanderthal. That part's all fun. And the disease part, if it gets you to wake up and go to the doctor and talk and get some advice and do your colonoscopy or
Not
do your
overreact.
Not overreact.
Dr. Whaley, I thank you so much because I have wondered that. I've watched these commercials and I've wondered that. And so I'm glad I asked that question. Now I have an all-star panel over here ready to go. They are fired up. They've got a lot to talk about.
The NRA card.
The NRA card. But we have, we never leave without giving you that one closing minute that you turn into two, but it's supposed to be a closing minute. But no, I'm sorry. It's a joke. It's a joke. Huh? Yeah, you're on the clock. The all-star panel said you're on the clock.
I started with it today. I started with my closing minute because I wanted to spend so much time on this genetic thing because you were right on, and whoever told you it wasn't important needs to go back and think about it. So when I said, Jane, what does an alder tree look like? I have the foggiest idea. Do you know what a juniper tree looks like? Y'all aren't here either. Do you know what an elm tree looks like? No. Well, that's the pollen today that's making us blow our nose. And the pollen counts are high. So I started with it today.
Thank you, Georgia Cancer Specialist. Thank you for the Georgia Cancer Specialist for this segment. We appreciate it. We always thank Dr. William Whaley. If you would like to ask the doctor a question, you send that question to info, I-N-F-O, at FetcherNews.com, info at FetcherNews.com. Put in the subject line, ask the doc, and we'll get that to Dr. Whaley every Friday morning. You can also find these segments cut up. You want to go back and watch them or share them with your friends on our YouTube channel, FYN TV, Fetcher News, our YouTube channel. Right after these messages, the All-Star panel, and I know we have a lot to talk about. Take us to break.
Ace is your healthful place for paint and home goods, tools, outdoor living, and lawn equipment. But did you know Ace Hardware of Blue Ridge is a little bit more? We have hunting rifles and accessories for your next hunting trip. We have Amish furniture imported directly from Ohio. And we have Ace Custom Woodworks for all your custom wood project needs, from cabinets to artwork. Ace Hardware of Blue Ridge. We have your new house in stock.
North Georgia Diamond is your source for diamonds. Come on in to view the area's largest selection of fine jewelry at North Georgia Diamond. All repairs and designs are done on site by our jewelers. And North Georgia Diamond has the lowest prices on loose diamonds. You can also sell your gold, silver, and coins at North Georgia Diamond between Walmart and Lowe's in East Ellijay. Locally owned by Bill and Allison Craig, North Georgia Diamond is your source for diamonds in North Georgia.
In 1981, Reed Nicholson began selling tires out of an old barn in Mineral Bluff. Little did he know that he had just laid the groundwork for the most trusted names in automotive services in the Blue Ridge area. In 1997, Nicholson Tire Center became what it is today, holding the same values of faith, family, and great customer service. 2 locations to serve you, and the Blue Ridge location is currently expanding to offer fast service and the largest U-Haul provider in Georgia. Nicholson Tire Center, Blue Ridge, and Mineral Bluff.
Medium Pizza Hut pizzas, just $5.99 each.
Did they say Pizza Hut?
For $5.99?
Yes, and yes.
Yes. Introducing the deal you want on the pizza you crave. 2 medium pizzas, just $5.99 each. No one out pizzas the hot.
Hi, I'm Rhonda the Mattress Lady, and this is my husband Gary, owners of Mattress Overstocked in Ellijay next to Walmart. And we want to earn your business. From the time you walk in our door to the time we deliver your new mattress to your door, you will see the difference. Our selection and prices are the best in North Georgia, and customer service is our top priority. So y'all come on in and let us help you find the right mattress at the right price. That's Mattress Overstocked in Ellijay next to Walmart.
because I've had the time of my life. I've never felt like this before, 'cause I've had the time of my life.
What's wrong with you? I know it doesn't fit. It's Valdosta State.
Oh, yeah. That's nice.
Yeah, come on already. I'm your host, BKP. We're at Circuit World in Blue Ridge, and it's a beautiful day in the neighborhood. A beautiful day in the neighborhood.
Makes me think of my childhood.
Where's Valdosta State?
Yesterday.
Valdosta.
This would have to be the all-star panel, folks. This is Jay, Rick, and Bruce. While we're trying.
Who's buried in Grant's tomb?
After we figure out where Valdosta is in the great state of Georgia, we'll solve the world's problems next.
Is
I'm your
Lincoln
host,
really in the
BKP.
monument?
Bruce.
No, wish it was
It's easy to tell Bruce is back, right? Not hard to figure that out.
That's so refreshing.
Can
though.
I at least do the intro?
Yes.
I guess
Okay, let's slow down.
Let's take a vote.
We're-
Okay, you can.
No.
All opposed?
BKP, Circuit World, Blue Ridge, Valdosta State. Angelo Nicolosi, my good friend Angelo Nicolosi, sent me. He is the recruiting director of Valdosta State. And the Fannin Rebels baseball team went down this past weekend and got a complete tour of the baseball facility and a nice little speech from all the staff there, the high school guys, and they sent BKP back. They said, take BKP back his Valdosta State jersey.
Nice.
So,
Nice.
yes, so I got that. I appreciate them.
Speaking of baseball, what about a guy who works the first game of the season? Bruce and I had
oh my God,
social event last night. Now hear me out. Bruce and I had a social event last night, so I'm excited to hear about
He's
the
always
score.
at a social event.
Yeah, Gilmer and Fannin, first game of the season, BKP in the booth. I'm texting him.
Runners at first and third.
Yeah, I'm texting
Oh,
him.
I had it down
And
last night. It's a little rusty.
here we go. I'm texting him.
Hey, here comes
and,
the staff.
and I said, BKP, what's the score? Game over, 11-0.
Who won?
Who won?
Yeah.
Nothing. Crickets. Here I am, scrambling last night. I finally go to the website, the Fannin County website, and I see Fannin wins 11. How does
So
how
wait
does
a minute. I'm watching.
an announcer worth his salt not come up with at least the name of the winner?
So I'm watching Stranger Things on Netflix, and the phone is across the room, and we're watching, and it buzzes about 9 o'clock or whatever. The phone buzzes, and it's all the way in the kitchen. Lisa said, "Who's that?" I said, "I don't know. I get it when I go to bed. Watch it." So when I go to bed, I'm looking up. Rick, can you tell me who won? I'm like, really? Who was? Oh, it was Rick. You kind of know who won. I gave him the score. Forgot to give him the team.
I couldn't believe it.
All right, folks.
Then you misspelled Fannin. What
That
can
was
I
funny
tell
in
you?
1982, maybe 1976.
Hey,
Some comedians
I still have
even
the
did it.
lineup.
There
I
you
announced
go.
the games. I
All right,
love,
let's get
I
down to
love it.
business. We got a lot to talk about.
Yeah, we got.
All right, so
The all-stars are prepared. We've got a little listing.
Resource officer at the school.
go.
Why didn't he go in? Did he freeze with fear, or
What are you, a Cadbury egg? You're a Cadbury chicken or bunny?
He's Eggland's best.
Eggland's best. Parkland's best.
I mean, it's a very sad.
It's a sad
It is,
To find out an armed deputy outside
was right there.
and did not go in, but yet a
child.
A guy that had spent his whole life in this school.
Oh, well, the
coach. The coach
Aaron
throws his body down as a shield and is dead. And a sworn. Listen, I'm going to tell you something. I say this all the time. I have the most respect for our law enforcement. I really do. And I tell my friends all the time, and Rick, you know, we eat lunch with them from time to time.
Sure.
And I'll tell my friends at lunch, listen, the day of me ever getting out of the car at night and walking up to a car unknown, I'm not doing it. Now, I don't want to say I'm a coward, but I'm not doing it. These men and women that get out and walk up to cars of unknown and don't know what's about to happen.
Tinted glass. You can't see.
Right.
Yeah,
So I have the utmost respect, but when I say you go into that line of duty, you go into that line of duty knowing. It's like the men and women, and I heard this, and it may upset people, but I heard, the men and women, the first responders at 9/11 went in that building. They didn't say, we're going to die. They went in. Okay, we have situations all the time where first responders go in. And it's really sad to find out that this guy was armed. It did not go into the building.
Now he resigned immediately.
And retired.
And now they
full pension.
Now the
I don't say it as a laughing matter. It's
now the Broward County Police are having to protect his home.
Well, let me ask you this.
They're protecting his home, but he didn't protect their kid.
Right.
All right. This week we got
picture?
different subjects, but I laid this out here. It's very broad, and I opened up with this. Are we solving the problem, or are we coming up with solutions to adjust to live in the evils of the world today?
Yes.
The latter.
Right.
Yep. We're adapting to modern society.
Right. We're adjusting to the evils of the world we live in today. Now, for me, okay, we're supporting, and not when I say we, not all of us, but we hear the masses cheering when we want teachers to have a gun or be able to have a gun. Okay, I'm okay with that. We hear the masses cheering when we say we want buzzers on all the doors, and once they're locked down, nobody can get in. We're cheering. Okay. We hear people cheering when we say, well, we want retired law enforcement or retired military to maybe be in the halls with their own AR-15 in case. I get confused that those are the cheers that we're applauding when these are not schools anymore. They're the government institutions that buzz locked down that we gave our children to, that when you walk up as mom and dad, you're going to have a camera. Now, people make fun of me and say it's not that serious, but we're going to lock these things down so hard that if you go to pick your son up at school for a dental appointment, they're going to look up at the camera and you're going to buzz. You're going to look up and say, hey, I'm so-and-so's mom, and he has a dentist appointment. Hold on. They're going to go over to a database, see if your profile fits the profile outside to see if your child can come out and go to the dentist. Now, am I wrong?
That already happens for my children in
Am I
elementary
wrong?
school.
It's not going to happen everywhere.
No, it's
in
in
the
my
rest of our
school.
lifetime.
Has been for years.
I think schools will
I
happen.
disagree with you.
I disagree. It's going to happen. I believe
No, I
it's
do.
got
I
to.
tell you why, because I go to the schools. I go to the schools. Now, wait a minute. I'm going to tell you this. Just in Gilmer County, there's a school in Gilmer County, okay? Now,
which shall remain unnamed.
No. I'm not being negative. Like, okay, if you go to a federal penitentiary, a state penitentiary for a visitation day, right?
Can't get in.
No. When you go in, there is this cinder block area, okay? Mm-hmm. And it's bulletproof glass, and there's a little hole, and you say, I'm here for visitation, and you drive your driver's license in the slot, and they take it through, and they run it, and they come back, and then they buzz the door for you to come in.
I've never had an occasion to do that.
Me either.
Okay, can I finish what I'm talking about?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. You go down, we had a school shooting, right? We had a school shooting. I used to walk in the school in Gilmer County, walk through the front door, and go to the office, open the door, and there was the counter, and there was the couple ladies there, and hi, how are you? And I'm here to talk to this class, and hold on a minute, we'll get you a visitor's pass. Now I go, and they've built the cement, 3-way block area, and you can get in the front door, and you have glass, and you will talk. You understand what I'm saying? It will happen.
It's starting to harden certain schools, but okay, that's either what, a high school or a middle school or.
It's a middle school.
Okay, but it's just not going to happen across the country.
We continue to
schools.
evolve.
It's
We've
just not
been
gonna
evolving since 9/11. You know, there's something. When did we used to see these big concrete pillars that stand this high in front of all the glass facades at the department stores? That never used to happen until all of a sudden we had people in the middle of the night driving cars through and loading up.
That was the solution, right?
Exactly.
You go to the
evolved.
store now, and they have drilled holes, and they put concrete
Or they
pillars
put massive planters.
right along the front.
Or those stand-up gate things, those fences.
You know, a pool. When
Yeah,
did
they
we?
did.
You know, unless you were in the Diamond District in New York, when have we seen the pull-down metal
They're
doors?
everywhere now.
Those are more prevalent than not now.
Right, they are.
And
On
when
some
did
of
we-
these high-end stores.
And when do we start
No
taking
way.
our shoes off just to get on an airplane?
Well, I want to tell you something, okay? Joeen, which has been on our panel before last week, sent us
We
a
miss
message.
you, Joeen.
Sent us a message, and she said she missed your segment on Rules for Radicals. Okay, and she really liked that you had been doing the segment. And this week, Amanda and I took interviews. We took the CNN town hall. We took so many things, and we read the Rules for Radicals game plan, and we stopped everywhere, didn't we? And we said, does this not fit?
Wow. That's
The
what we need to do.
Did
That's
this
it.
not fit the exact narrative of Rules, right? And we broke it down this week. So you have been doing that, Bruce. CNN scripted town hall.
Oh my
Yeah.
goodness.
Oh,
Yeah.
boy. Are we ready to go there?
Go. Yeah, we're ready to go there.
Okay, Rick's ready to go. That was like-
Take off, Rick.
Well, I mean, my winners and losers, which I'll do just like the doc did. I'll do the back end first. My winners were going to be Dana Lash, Marco Rubio, and Colton Hobb. Each one of them have a different part in this whole thing. Colton Hobb is a young man that wouldn't be bullied by CNN, who now is deflecting and saying, well, that never happened. Baloney, it didn't happen.
Is he?
No,
Yeah.
CNN is saying it.
CNN.
Oh,
you know,
CNN,
yeah,
not
CNN
Colton.
saying it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I
No, not
saw
the
his.
kid.
I saw his interview.
No. I read that, not the kid.
He was
Right.
on Tucker last night, and he went through the whole thing.
Oh, I
and he
missed- I
said,
missed
"You want me
half
to
of
read
that.
my original question?" And to Tucker's credit, he didn't try to compare and contrast. He just wanted to bring out the fact that this guy wouldn't be bullied by CNN, while all the other ones, the Sinead O'Connor and the I love that. and
That's why
they came out.
Gomez
And
or
they literally
Gonzalez?
came out with their little strips. They had their little CNN strips.
None of mine, because I call her a skinhead.
Emma Gonzalez. Yeah, they had their
They
little.
had their
strip-
little strips, and she'd get in Dana Lash's face. And to Marco Rubio's credit, I'd have come across and throttled one of those little.
Well, first of all,
But,
if I'm Marco Rubio, I'm sorry. There has to be a time where you just say, I'd have looked at that kid when he said, first of all, when I look at you, I'm looking down the barrel of an AR-15. Can you promise my friend? First of all, before I promised his friend he would live, I look at him and say, young man, how old are you? 17? I'm a grown-ass man. You need to understand before we go any further, I'm a grown-ass man.
Yeah.
I would have, man. I mean, I'm not mad at Rubio, but no, I would not have.
I'm not mad at Rubio.
But,
I think he did a good job
I-
of holding his temper. I mean, you're saying.
Tell that he was angry.
Oh yeah, you can sure tell that he was angry. Absolutely. So anyway, those guys were those three, for all different reasons, and Dana Lash. I'm telling you, she is the new voice of the NRA. She's young.
Oh, that's
she's
what Amanda
female,
said this
she's
week.
vivacious. She's attractive. You got.
I love vivacious and attractive. I'll go with that.
In the
You're
same
going to
sense.
get in trouble for that.
And she knows her weapons.
Yeah, that's first and
Kid,
foremost.
hey,
tell
I
you.
check that off every
I
time.
know,
Here's
she
her
can-
qualifications.
She can break down and clean a weapon just like a. Anyway, back to Colton Hobb. He was a he's a ROTC student.
Yeah, ROTC.
He's
Yes.
an ROTC guy, and he wasn't going to be bullied. So kudos to them. And my loser was going to be CNN. My loser is CNN.
Always.
Instead of presenting a calming influence and speaking like the president did at his listening session, town hall, whatever
Now
you
he
want to call
truly
it.
did.
You know,
I
even
watched that.
though he had
My winner.
the notes in his
My
hand.
winner of the week,
Who had the notes?
DJT. Donald
sat
Trump,
there and
Trump
listened.
spoke
Yes.
the notes, and they zoomed
And
in
they
on it.
zoomed in on it. Give me a
So
break.
wonderful.
Yeah.
No,
You know.
the notes
Is
were
your winner
wonderful.
Donald Trump?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely
He listened to
first
every
class. They talk about him
First
as low as you could go on everything in every way whatsoever. Doesn't have the attention span. All the negatives. You know, we're not even 30 days. Rewind 30 days. They're wondering if he's got the mental stability to even qualify to buy his own firearm. And he did a great job this week in what I would say truly listening. Truly listening and paying attention. And he put everybody in the meeting.
He didn't care how long the meeting took.
He put everybody in. And they didn't script where that microphone went around the room.
No,
they didn't
he
say
just said who's next.
Just if you were there and said, hey, give me the mic. They
Yeah.
gave him the mic.
Okay,
And
the one that was the most compelling, I thought, there were several, but the father with his two sons that lost the daughter.
yeah.
He stood up there and he said, "I'm pissed. And
I'm a
mad."
grown man. I'm a
gonna
grown
fix
man.
this.
My
Yes.
kids have to live with this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I go to the cemetery to visit my daughter.
Yeah.
And
It's heartbreaking.
But I mean, they focused on his note, and the last one was "I hear you." You know, it was sort of a memo to himself about whatever. And of course, the pundits are saying the guy's got no empathy. He can't even do this on his own. He needs notes.
Oh
I
my
think, I
gosh!
think here's what I
don't even-
think. It's always important to hear what I think. Here's what I think.
some.
Okay, I think Donald Trump's listening session that he did the other day is about the truest example of the First Amendment I have seen in a long time, because there were several in the room that had disconnect with the NRA, that are upset, with guns, that want certain controls. But Donald Trump didn't say, you can't talk, you can't. If they're upset about that, they got an opportunity to say how they felt.
Yeah, and they got a right to be upset if they want to be.
Exactly. The other thing about that, and we'll get on that, is I'm upset about how we have played on these people's emotions that should have been, burying their children this week.
I.e. CNN.
And grieving that the raw emotions. And I have to tell you, as mad as anybody can get, if you want me to believe that David Hogue and Cameron, is that his name? Cameron Caskey, and what's Sinead O'Connor's name? Emma Gonzalez. If you want me to think that they're sad today, that they've cried, no, I've seen them chuckling, and I've seen them, I think they're loving the camera. And what happened to David? Where did he go? I haven't seen him in several days.
Which one?
David Hogue.
Yeah, where'd he go?
Hope
He
he's
was
not
lead
in
man, right? Now, every one
He's back in California.
every one of us that are reading all the conspiracy theory, especially you, Jane, every one of us that are reading all the conspiracy theory,
For sure.
right?
I don't like that word conspiracy.
No, wait a minute. But every one of us that are reading this, we're the, out there. But David seems to have disappeared in the last 3 or 4 days. Am I wrong?
No,
he's
gone.
Where's David?
Well, he was in Tallahassee, right? Didn't he start in Tallahassee?
Yeah, I
he
think
was-
he went to the state capitol.
The state capitol thing.
Yeah,
Yeah, but he was lead
He was
guy.
very vocal there.
Yeah, but
But you think one of the main stars of the CNN escapades here would be at the NRA meeting.
So what is the follow on to that? Have you got any theories?
No,
Or you're just saying-
I think everything CNN's done is scripted. I think they've played off this, MSNBC, all of them. I think they found these kids that are as liberal. And now, did you say Emma Gonzalez is openly gay?
She leads the LGBTQ community at Mayberry High School.
Yeah. So she leads an LGBT community at the high school. So Emma, they found Trump haters to begin with, and your CNN and your and all four of the networks. Jane, what say you? Should the how do we secure the schools? If you're okay, if you want to, what would Jane do?
Well, can I say something first?
Absolutely, anything. I didn't mean to close the subject on that.
It's on the subject, but conspiracy is just a little condescending these days because
I agree.
This is scripted. And if I knew a little bit more about how to get a video over to these fabulous guys, I saw yesterday a YouTube where Eric Holder. He was so young, he had big afro kind of thing, a mustache, he looked like he's about 32, talking in front of some organization saying, we have got to be in the schools, all of the schools, every day talking about gun control. This was that far back. He said, I don't mean once a week. I mean, we need to say this every day to our students. That had to be 10, 15, 20 years ago. And
Longer than that, probably.
Yeah, you can pull it up. And he's saying every day, and I need to find out whom he was speaking with, but the thing is, he said it. This is all scripted, and it's just moving. It's the whole Soros thing and a lot more. And so now we have CNN scripting. It's all planned, and it's not a. It is the agenda of the globalist and how to take over our country. Number one. Number two, about securing the schools. I've thought a lot about that, and when I go down some paths, I say, but, like if you have metal detectors, sure, those are expensive, but how expensive is one child? You have to say that. And then every child that comes in, they have their book bags, they have pens. I mean, that could be lines that take 3 hours to get in, so I don't know about that. Then you have guards, but the statistics are, I believe, that this shooting, the worst part happens from 3 to 5 minutes or 10 minutes. And for someone to get to that building over there that's 3 stories, how do they get there? I don't know how they get
So
there.
that begs the question that you have to have someone on campus right away.
Well, 3 to 5 minutes, 17 are dead.
There's a 40-acre
They're
campus.
dead.
I mean, with multiple levels.
Yeah.
So
You can't get
how
on.
can 1, 2,
2
10
guards,
guys
10 guys can't do it. So in my grandchildren's elementary school in Buckhead, you go. It's actually in Dunwoody. You go to the door. It's locked. It's an older school. It's public. You buzz. They say, "Who are you?" And before they knew my face, I'm so and so's grandmother. They check if I'm allowed on the sheet, and then they buzz me in. So I thought, well, that's not expensive, and I think that's reasonable. If this shooter had come, he was an old student of the school. He said, I went in, I want to talk about getting back to school. He could have, he could have weaseled his way in. But the thing is that that's not that expensive, and I think that's not unreasonable. It's not, and if what's your agenda?
Expensive and
coming in
unreasonable.
here?
I not that expensive and not unreasonable. Go ahead.
But everybody knows these are gun-free zones. So why do all these people walk into these schools, with satchels of guns? Because they know there's not going to be anybody to stop them.
Right.
Plus, all the major mass shootings have happened at public schools, no private schools, no home schools.
Well, there was one other one. There was one other one. The theater. Again, soft target, no guns allowed.
I like, and I didn't read Donald Trump's tweet, but exactly, here's my opinion. Yes, even somebody with mental health issues. Okay.
Oh.
All right. Now we find out this young man. There's multiple calls that the sheriff has come to the house, or police have come to the house. Multiple calls. FBI dropped the ball. Okay. He has had mental evaluations. He has been going through. He is.
But the psychologist said he was not a threat to anybody.
Social.
Like he knew.
Okay. But here's the thing. Even mentally ill people, for some reason, understand they don't want to die. So I'm just saying, I agree that this guy, we call a sicko, we call him crazy, we call him everything. But if he thought that there was the odds were he was going to get killed, he would not have gone to that school. Okay, I just argue that all day long. He would not have gone to that school if he thought he was going to be the one to get killed. Because the guy actually did his murder made a stop and was drinking a Coke in a McDonald's. See, he didn't want to die. He knew enough. He didn't want to die. He didn't even kill himself. So I think I offered this, that you send out. We will, and it's not a negative thing to athletics, and I'm not going there, but we will, because we really get involved with FetcherNews.com. We will spend time, money, resources on paying and finding the right coach. We will spend money. We have supplemental pay. We go to the Board of Education, go to your local Board of Education and see how many millions of dollars right here in this county, surrounding counties, are spent every year. We will do supplemental pay for 5 assistants in this athletic program, 5 assistants, supplemental pay all day long. You put a form out in every teacher's box and you say, this is a volunteer program. You're not forced. Who would like to sign up to become eligible for this program? If they want to carry the weapon, they go through the certain school training that has to happen, blah, 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 background, and maybe they get a supplement, and maybe they rotate who's on duty week by week. I'm okay with the teachers doing that. Go, Bruce.
Does it create a false sense of security that teachers, like this resource officer, in the moment of potential battle, freeze or aren't willing to sacrifice their life for the kids?
Well,
it's a horrible situation.
I understand, but go ahead, Jane.
Thanks. So to that, we had 2 children. They were seniors, but they were children. The young man who held the door open, who was shot 9 times. The younger guy that was getting the students. He was an ROTC guy too, that helped kids, his classmates, get into the door. These people and the coach, they jump up. It's second nature. This guy who didn't go in, he could be an anomaly. That's one thing. I mean, most adults, when they see children getting hurt, children they don't know. If I saw a child walk across that street, I didn't know who they were, I would run out there and try to get them. It's instinct. This guy didn't have that. For what reason? We don't know. It could have been a lot of things without getting into something serious. So another thing about the teachers carrying weapons, here I wanted to show this. I have a carrying permit for this state.
Me too.
All of us do. Now, I don't just have this to wear around my neck. I went to classes. I can shoot big guns. I can shoot rifles. I can shoot handguns. I can shoot all of that, and I hit the target. I do. I'm not.
There's a shot right here.
Just watch it. But you know what? This is important. Only if you know how to use the gun you're using. You don't just want to go get these and think, I'm an expert, get a gun and start wheeling around the gun. But it's an important right we have. And I believe, personally, we should have stiffer background checks for a weapon. I don't have one problem with that. It's going to get into a little fishy stuff for some people. But hello, we have to start somewhere.
But stiffer background checks, okay? Okay, let's say that. Our background check laws now are not bad.
They're not good enough.
Wait, but they're not bad.
We have?
It's just the fact that let's look what happened in Florida. The government, which can't do anything right, from my opinion, they didn't put the data in.
Right.
If the data's
That was
in,
Dana Lash's point.
if the data's in, the kid doesn't get the gun.
She tried to make that point, and all they did was scream murder.
So if you yell background check, background. Now I'm not against what you're saying, but if you stiffen the background check, but then yet the people responsible for updating the data, that doesn't happen in these government agencies.
Or acting on
There's
the
so many,
Or
but you
acting on the data.
got to start somewhere. I mean, you got to start somewhere, and so it's a huge problem.
I tell you what,
it's
it's
huge.
got me. We gotta do some things quickly. It's a great show, great topics. I swear we've got to put more time into this.
Give us some more time, guys.
All right, we keep it
an hour and a half.
I have a puppy out here that's waiting. I got 2 puppies today.
Got the puppies.
How's the puppies today? Listen,
The house of puppies.
okay, NRA has become the villain. This, according to the
They're
media.
the fall guy.
They're the fall guy.
Definitely.
Become?
Assault
They continue
weapons,
to be.
weapons of
War. Give me a break.
AR-15s.
That is no more a weapon of war
Yes, sir.
than a pea shooter.
I knew what was going to happen there. Yes or no? Change the law for all firearms 21 years old? Yes or no?
Maybe.
Maybe.
No.
All firearms 21 years old?
I have to think about that because at 18 I was shooting with my brothers and but you have to be responsible. So maybe you've got to say, is this person mature enough? Who decides that? Some psychologist that didn't know us whatever from a hole in the ground. I mean, so I don't know. I mean, all these guys around here hunt like crazy. I don't know if their gun, the 18-year-old that goes out and hunts, or the 16 with his dad.
I guess it's a difference between,
you're gonna move,
But you got a gun.
Using a gun versus buying a gun.
Move voting to 21. If you're gonna
Can we go back 20 seconds?
20 seconds.
To what we talked about before, when Bruce's point is well taken, will the teacher, if confronted, use the weapon if they're assigned?
Yeah.
I still think it's a state of mind. If a potential shooter knows that it's not a soft target anymore, that's going to be a deterrent in and of itself.
If you go up to the school building and the sign says
there are weapons,
gun-free zone, that's what it says. But
I'm
if you
coming
walk up
in.
and there's a big sign saying this facility is protected by weapons. There's weapons within this facility, blah, 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 blah,
Yeah.
right here. When you walk in, whether they're used or not, there are weapons inside here.
There are training that I want to go to. I haven't been to the official one, but you take your handgun and then you walk through a maze or whatever, and then they have people, cardboard figures jump out. You have to decide, is that
Either
a
a
woman
threat or a
shopping,
friend.
a threat or a friend, and you go through that and you do it over and over. Now, if I had guns in my child's school, I would like to think the people, this isn't going to be like, okay, tomorrow you apply and the next day you get a gun. I think you should go through some kind, and then you either pass or fail.
Well, to back that up, Fox had a guy on who was the first SWAT officer going into Columbine. He does private, guard stuff now. And he says, yeah, that's all very good, but he said it's very difficult because people who are responsible for kids and weapons and all that, they need to train virtually every month. So,
Okay.
is that
What
something teachers can do?
Okay,
I would
wait,
do
wait
it
a
if
minute,
I were a
wait a
teacher.
minute.
I'd do it.
Here's the fear I have. Here's the fear I have. Even with this kid that did this monster, here's the fear I have. Okay, this week, we've had in North Georgia at least 4 schools I'm aware of. 4.
Shut down.
Okay, that there were threats through social media. Who is going to monitor every kid's Instagram account? A kid with an Instagram account said, hey, I'm coming to school tomorrow. Another kid said, I have the text message. A person sent me the screenshot and said, are you giving me a warning that maybe tomorrow's not a good day to show up at school? Boom, shut down. Another school south of here, another school. Dawson, we have an article on FetcherNews.com.
Writing it on bathroom walls.
Right, Dawson, okay. What are we going to do now? These are juveniles. My concern, okay, is this kid, a judge ruled that his mental health background as a juvenile can be a part of this, okay? They can open it up, it's public, okay?
Well,
On
maybe.
mental health, what if you're 16, 17 years old, you think you're sowing your wild oats, but somebody out there in the psychology world says, I think he's a little nuts.
And they're all liberals.
And
They're
you're
all
sick-
liberals. The psychology.
That's what they type. So, but you're,
Is that a clinical
Yeah,
diagnosis?
exactly.
I think he's a little nuts.
I'm going to take my reputation.
it's a Mel Brooks movie, okay? All right, shut up. So somebody 16, I think this guy is... All right. Anyhow, can I get the point out? I think he's a little nuts, okay?
Keep trying.
He's 16 years old. You guys say we're...
I'm sorry.
He's 16 years
This
old.
is serious. Come on.
He's 16 years old, and then he goes 21 years old, and he goes to buy a firearm, and he says, well, your psychiatrist said when you're 16, he thought you was a little off your rocker, Okay,
Yeah.
you can't have a firearm. What are we going to? Do you understand what I'm trying to
It's
say?
a big part of this whole solution to this issue.
The mental health.
The
makes
mental
me
health
nervous.
thing is like,
Me
from
too.
like conservative to like very liberal. So you get some shrinks that go, yeah, no problem. The other one's going to lock the kid up.
Let me just say, my husband's a doctor, and a long time we have a lot of friends. I would like to say that of all the mental health people I know, I will not make names, they are 99.99% liberal. Number one.
And we won't use the word
Now, are we
conspiracy,
going
but-
to start analyzing our kids around age 14?
I want to analyze the dadgum health officials. I mean, that's who I want to
Do you
analyze.
understand what I just said? Are we going to start sending our kids at 14 for a psychological
No,
analysis
that's what I'm
to
saying.
see what might happen? Do you understand what I said?
But you
Yes.
can't, because the
You
people
can't.
doing the
But they're going
analysis
to.
are
ACLU
liberal.
is going to be all over this.
It's-
ACLU and NRA could join,
It's just like the
forces on
judges.
stuff
It's just like the judges where they're all now they're trying to weed them out. We can't take Hillary to trial in a civil case. All the judges are liberal. I mean, it'd be a
Okay,
joke.
folks, let's figure out the day. Let's figure out the day, and let's take this show to another day next week. I want to do another day next week. Let's see if we can take this. Let's see what happens. Let's take this discussion. Let's look at our schedule, because I know we get 45 minutes. It just flies by. But this is, I think, we have a good time. I think we're really bringing out some good things that people want to talk about.
And they want to think about.
We're losers and
That's what we're getting ready to do. But,
Okay.
all right. Bruce, what do you have?
No, let Jen go.
No,
Jane,
I'm not going
Bruce.
first.
Okay. Well, I already did my
Yeah.
winner was Donald J. Trump. Loser, Barack Hussein Obama. 8 years in office, 9 mass shootings, didn't do squat.
Had his opportunity, Emma. Go ahead.
I'm going to, I did my winners and losers before. I'm going to throw out another winner. Another winner was a guy by the name of Daryl Scott, the father of the first child killed in Columbine, started Rachel's Challenge. Rachel's Challenge has visited over 1,200 schools, and they don't focus on weapons. They don't focus on anything other than bullying, compassion, and understanding at the level of the schools. They try to help kids that are troubled kids, and they've been very, very successful. They've, they have recorded over saving the life of hundreds of kids that would have tried to. I don't know how they statistically say this, but save kids from committing suicide. They don't focus on weapons. They focus on compassion, anti-bullying, which is a big deal.
Big thing.
It's a big deal in the schools. This is what drives a lot of these kids to come back and take revenge, like the 2 at Columbine. So that's my winner, Daryl Scott, father of Rachel Scott, who started Rachel's Challenge.
Jane?
Remind me of the young man who wouldn't do the script on CNN. It slipped my mind.
Colton Hobb.
Colton Hobb. He's my winner. I mean, we have a lot of winners, and Trump was a winner, but this man was so brave. I mean, this is a young man who stood up to this cabal. He stood up for what he thought was right, and he is a young person. I mean, that man has courage. That young man has courage. And I just hold my hand up to him and salute him. And the losers, where do I start? I mean, CNN, Obama, Hillary. I mean, when the losers are just crazy. But yeah, they are. But that young man is dear to my
The
heart.
cop who wouldn't go in. There's a lot of losers.
Yeah,
this
there's
week.
a lot of losers.
A lot of losers.
A lot of losers this week.
Hey, folks,
Not the all-star panel, though.
As we close, folks,
Right.
as we close, one subject we did not cover, and we do have our Pet of the Week coming up. We promise. We have our sports update that is going to happen this morning. I appreciate Jane, Rick, and Bruce, and this has been some great discussion. We needed more time, and I think what we'll do is look at a time this week we could get together and maybe even go a little further on this, promote it out there so you'll know in advance the discussion and the topics we're going to have, and you can get involved online through social media. But here's what I want to say. Folks, the media likes to play on your fear. They love to play on your fear. So maybe I'll try it. Nancy Pelosi, she scares the hell out of me, okay? So I'm going to play on your fear. Guess what? Democrats need 24 seats to take back the House. Guess what? The Supreme Court of Pennsylvania's liberal activist judges rewrote the congressional district in Pennsylvania. Guess what? all of the people that watch this feel that they moved 8 to 10 seats over into the Democrat column this November. Guess what? Hey, it's like starting the game and say, I'll spot you 10 points. They need 24, folks. Liberal judges in Pennsylvania just moved 8 to 10 seats over to the Democrats. What say you? So let me scare the hell out of you again. You might not like Paul Ryan. I understand. I'm not a fan favorite. But I will tell you this. Nancy Pelosi scares the hell out of me, and you people better wake up of these liberal activist judges. Take us to break, and we're going to come back right after this with a sports update.
Ace is your healthful place for paint and home goods, tools, outdoor living, and lawn equipment. But did you know Ace Hardware of Blue Ridge is a little bit more? We have hunting rifles and accessories for your next hunting trip. We have Amish furniture imported directly from Ohio. And we have Ace Custom Woodworks for all your custom wood project needs, from cabinets to artwork. Ace Hardware of Blue Ridge. We have your new house in stock.
North Georgia Diamond is your source for diamonds. Come on in to view the area's largest selection of fine jewelry at North Georgia Diamond. All repairs and designs are done on site by our jewelers. And North Georgia Diamond has the lowest prices on loose diamonds. You can also sell your gold, silver, and coins at North Georgia Diamond between Walmart and Lowe's in East Ellijay. Locally owned by Bill and Allison Craig, North Georgia Diamond is your source for diamonds in North Georgia.
In 1981, Reed Nicholson began selling tires out of an old barn in Mineral Bluff. Little did he know that he had just laid the groundwork for the most trusted names in automotive services in the Blue Ridge area. In 1997, Nicholson Tire Center became what it is today, holding the same values of faith, family, and great customer service. 2 locations to serve you, and the Blue Ridge location is currently expanding to offer fast service and the largest U-Haul provider in Georgia. Nicholson Tire Center, Blue Ridge, and Mineral Bluff.
Medium Pizza Hut pizzas just $5.99 each.
Did they say Pizza Hut?
For $5.99?
Yes, and yes.
Yes. Introducing the deal you want on the pizza you crave. 2 medium pizzas just $5.99 each. No one out pizzas the hot.
Hi, I'm Rhonda the Mattress Lady, and this is my husband Gary, owners of Mattress Overstocked in Ellijay next to Walmart. And we want to earn your business. From the time you walk in our door to the time we deliver your new mattress to your door, you will see the difference. Our selection and prices are the best in North Georgia, and customer service is our top priority. So y'all come on in and let us help you find the right mattress at the right price. That's Mattress Overstocked in Ellijay next to Walmart.
Had the time of my life. I never felt like this before. I swear it's the truth, and I owe it all to you. I'll tell you something. This could be love, because I've had the time of my life. I've never felt like this before, 'cause I've had the time of my life.
Hey, we're back. I'm your host, BKP, and it's time for North Georgia Sports, Team FYN North Georgia Sports Weekend Review. We're here at Circuit World in Blue Ridge. The All-Star panel is trying to filter out. They're still discussing our subject matter of the morning, and things are getting busy around here, and we don't want to condense our sports segment, but we have our pet of the week, so don't you go anywhere. Jason Banks, how are you today?
Great.
Okay, we have big news, and big news, but I want to start. Can I start?
It's your show.
Well, the thing is I want to start because it's baseball season, okay?
Yeah.
And baseball season, and I love the game, you know that, and I got to go up and watch the Bobcats, the Gilmer Bobcats last night. Fannin Rebels had their home opener. Fannin Rebels hosted the Gilmer Bobcats. And I don't know, Coach Thurman, I don't know really on that Bobcat team, but if the team that show up last night, they've got some work to do. They've got some work to do. The Fannin Rebels won, I think, 11-zip, 4.5 innings. It's a
short day.
Yeah, 4.5 innings, and the Fannin Rebels came out. They won in the first inning. I have to say this, and I love the Bobcats, and I'm not trying to upset anybody, but you know a team when they come out and you can tell attitude, I came to play,
Right.
I'm here to win, I'm in the box, I'm ready to hit the baseball, I'm ready to run, ready to field. They did it all in one inning. The Rebels did it all in one inning, and you could just say, and it was 11-1. I got a couple guys. I mean, it was hard because I've got like Jack Gobble. He is stand-up, almost off the wall, warning track, almost off the wall, 2 stand-up doubles, okay? And here is a name that people are used to hearing, but a different guy, Matthew Shira.
Yeah,
We're used to hearing Will Shira that is down at Georgia Tech throwing the ball. He's a hurler down at Georgia Tech. But Matthew Shira, playing first base, stepped into the game, and his dad, I'm up there in the box with Cliff, and I look at him and I said, hey, man, Matthew just stepped into varsity baseball just like that. And he said, you think so? I said, yeah. I mean, he's smacking the ball. List goes on. Nothing like watching Big Miles Johnson. Now, I'm going to have a nickname for all these guys coming to bat before the season's over. I'm thinking of Big MJ coming to the plate, because this guy is –
he's a monster.
But I tell you what, if he gets a hold of this ball, they've got a problem.
Yeah.
And I think the conditioning Miles has been in, some kind of conditioning, because he's a big guy. I think he's already 6'5".
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Big.
Junior,
Sophomore.
Big
sophomore.
Big
Yeah.
sophomore, 6'5", and they have him conditioning. He's a big guy, but he's solid.
The strongest kid in the high school, too.
And but the list goes on, and I do want to give a shout-out to the pitcher, Garrett Rogers, last night pitched the 4 innings to shut out the Bobcats for the win. There's no stats to show for Gilmer, so I don't know what's up with the team. I don't know what's going on there.
They've got to be a little bit concerned because they're 1-3 now. I had a chance to actually watch them play Union County earlier this week. So, similar situation. Whenever Fannin come out as well as they have to start the season, that 7-0 win over Hamilton, and then just losing to Alpharetta 4-2 down in Valdosta, you say
these are 7A schools.
Yeah, that game shouldn't have been 4-2. But it was. And
Alpharetta's a 7A.
Absolutely, and then Lowndes County beat them 8-1. But you would expect that game to be over in the first inning with most 3A schools. So I would say what you said hits the nail on the head as far as Fannin goes and the attitude, and they've created a winning culture. And Coach Ayers, that was his plan coming in here. What is this? His fourth year? Fourth year?
Yeah, 4th year.
Yeah. So we've said several times takes 3-4 years to build a program, and that seems to be exactly what they're doing. And unfortunately, whenever Gilmer went to Union, they had a chance in that game due to Union's mistakes. Union has an error or creates an error and gives Gilmer an opportunity to score 4 runs, and they're down 4-2. And then Gilmer turned around and gave a game right back to them, walking 2 runners, and then you get a walk-off home run from Hunter Kelly, and boom, game's over. And then with what happened yesterday, I'd say Gilmer baseball probably a little concerned. I wouldn't say I wouldn't say their season is not going to be a good one, but I would say that they've got some work to do. And Fannin is looking awesome. It's
Well,
gonna be exciting.
let me say this. We've talked about it, and it's been talked about through the community a little bit. What would the team look like with Will Shira out of the lineup, off the mound? Congratulations to Will, but this is a testament. This coach, Coach Ayers, he knows that he's going to have players step out and new ones come up. And this team is solid. They're solid in the box. Now, we're going to see when they go up against some more competitive pitching and so forth, we're going to see, but their attitudes in the box was great, so congratulations. Now, you have some other big Fannin County high school sports news. What do you have for us?
It's not official, but it is official, right? Yesterday we were told that the head football coach, Jim Pavo, called a meeting in the cafeteria, called all the players that play football next year to let them know that it is very likely that he will be stepping down as the head coach for Fannin County. Myself, Natalie Kissel, I know you as well, helping with this. We've been trying to get as much information as we can as to what prompted the decision. I know we've heard a lot of different rumors, and I don't want to put too much out there without actually talking to Coach Pavo. Put a couple phone calls in last night. Also left Dr. Ramsey a voicemail message yesterday and this morning, and Dr. Gwatney as well. So we're hoping to get exactly what the plan is. But some people said that they had seen this coming for a few weeks, and the rumor was that Pavo was looking to move from Fannin County and not retire. He'll be coaching somewhere else. But again, we don't have that locked down yet. So
well, it is without somebody just saying yes on the other end in an official capacity. He did meet with the players and say he would not be back next year. So the Fannin Rebels football team will be looking for a new head coach, according to all of our sources and what we know from the players. And I got an opportunity to work with Coach Pavo for 3 years on Rebel Wrap Up on Wednesday night. Had a great have a great relationship with Coach Pavo. And no, don't take this wrong, Coach Pavo, but come on, man. I mean, I know you might want to move on, but now BKP has to learn a new name on Wednesday night. All right, but I'll do my best. Okay.
We need flashcards.
Huh? Yeah,
Flashcards.
I've been saying Rebel Rap. I wonder how many. I hope I don't do that. Rebel Rap. It's Wednesday night. We're at Circuit World, and it's time for Rebel Wrap Up with Coach Jim Pavo. All right. So what else do we have? Because I'm sorry that it's a brief edition, but
I'll be quick because I know we're ready to get to the star of the show. But basketball, believe it or not, we're still talking about it. Murphy Lady Bulldogs still very much alive in the 1A tournament for state. In fact, they've advanced to the Sweet 16 with a big win over East Surrey last night, 58-35, thanks to some big play by Jessica Beckner and Aubrey Clapsaddle, who have played well all year. This team will be playing Union Academy tomorrow. Union Academy is 24-2, so very good basketball team. Murphy Bulldogs also a 2-loss team, so we expect that to be a very good game. That game's at 6 o'clock at Murphy High School. Those Murphy girls are averaging 60 points a game still, playing really well, 36 rebounds a game, and so we expect them to go far. But they will have their toughest test so far of the season tomorrow. Cherokee County also still alive on the other side of the bracket. So there's a possibility that Cherokee High School could be playing Murphy again, which those teams have beat each other, so that's kind of exciting. The Gilmer Lady Cats season came to an end this week with a loss at Sandy Creek, but a very close game. No one really expected that. Hats off to Coach Kim Charles for getting those girls ready, because they did finish the season 13-14, but they were 7-5 in Region 6, and to hold Sandy Creek to only 45 points in a game everybody expected to be a 20 or 30 point blowout was a pretty big deal. And the Nets season is done as well, and RJ is heartbroken because he's going to have to start covering baseball now. We know how much RJ loves covering basketball and football for us, and he'll be traveling to Cartersville this weekend to watch the Dragons play some baseball this weekend. But the Nets did lose to Jefferson, unfortunately, this week, 62-40. So.
Folks, you can always catch Team FYN Sports. You go to fetchyournews.com, click on Team FYN Sports. Give a big shout out to Pickens down there. RJ Casey is always on top of everything from basketball to football. Now he's all over the Pickett's Dragons baseball team, covering that, so you can keep up with that. Find us on Facebook, Team FYN Sports Facebook, Twitter at Team FYN Sports, and don't forget, we'll be covering all the North Georgia baseball that we can, and anybody out there wanting to help score games or get information out during live games, let us know here at Team FYN Sports. And I just want to leave this. We may have more news in the Fannin County coaching situation that may surround basketball. We don't know yet, but keep up with Team FYN Sports for all the updates. We're going to come right back with our Pet of the Week. We got to running a little long with our All-Star panel, but our Pet of the Week from the Humane Society is right after these messages. Thank you, Jason.
Thank you.
All I do is win, 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 no matter what. Got money on my mind, I can never get enough. And every time I step up in the building, everybody hands go up. And they stay there, and they say yeah, and they say there. Cause all I do is win, win, win. And if you going in, put your hands in the air, make them stay there. All I do is win, win.
The Tupelo Tea mission is to provide over 80 premium tea blends for tea lovers who are looking for ways to explore new flavors and blends. Come visit Tupelo Tea, located in beautiful downtown Blue Ridge at Sycamore Crossing. Be sure to sample our various varieties of honey and tea. Visit us on the web at tupelotea.com or call us at 706-946-TEAS. That's TEAS. Tupelo Tea, located in beautiful downtown Blue Ridge.
Days ahead.
It's just this simple. Nobody beats Days on price. If it's a Chevy, you'll pay less at Days Chevrolet in Jasper. Now save $4,000 off a new 2018 Chevy Malibu, or save up to $10,000 off a new 2018 Silverado Crew Cab. It doesn't matter which Chevy you choose. Nobody beats Days on price. $10,000 off Silverados and $4,000 off Malibus at Days Chevy in Jasper.
Better days ahead. Days Chevrolet.
Find new roads.
Papa's Pizza to Go in downtown Blue Ridge is the best in the area all-you-can-eat buffet. Call ahead or order online now at papaspizzatogo.com. Use our convenient pickup window for the best in pizza, subs, wings, breadsticks, salads, and more. And be sure to check out our lively game room. We serve lunch and dinner, catering available, take out or dine in. Papa's Pizza to Go in Blue Ridge, proud sponsors of the Fannin County Rebels.
What you gonna do with all that junk?
Who the puppy? I write you a song. You can get a kiss. Don't you get no more kisses. No. I don't care how much you love me. I don't care, Yogi. Are we live?
We're live.
Look, Yogi, it's the audience. Oh, I love puppies. How are you, Yogi? Did you bring people with you? Don't look away. Hey, I'm your host, BKP, and we're at Circuit World in Blue Ridge, and it's time for the stars of the show. This is wrong. This is just wrong, ladies. How did you...
We hope that
Get
you
kisses.
want to
Get-
take both of
Give
them
me some
home
love.
with you,
Give me some
Brian.
love. Give me the love.
This is Yogi Bear, and this is Cindy Bear. If you remember from Yogi, Cindy was
Yes, Yogi and Cindy Bear.
girlfriend.
Yes.
Yep.
Oh, this is just wrong, folks. Humane Society of Blue Ridge.org's website and Facebook page. And we have these two beautiful puppies. And ladies, could you introduce, now Rena, we want to send all of our warm wishes to Rena. She's had to go out of town, and Rena is usually with us. And what is your name, man?
Sue.
Sue and
Karen.
Karen is usually with Rena when she brings the puppies, but this is the first time on the show. Where'd you get these puppies?
These puppies were left abandoned in a home.
Oh no, you didn't tell me that.
Yes.
Come here, Yogi. It'll never happen
But the
again,
good
baby.
news is
It'll
we
never
had
happen.
2 good Samaritans who brought the puppies to us. They found them in the home and they brought them to us. And as soon as we got them to the shelter, we wanted to make sure there were no other puppies in the home. So Rena went out there, checked it out, didn't find any other puppies, and we have no idea who the mom and dad are. So we really don't
your
know
ears.
what kind of puppies they are.
Quit kissing me. I'm telling
They're
you.
growing by leaps and bounds. We're
Get your-
assuming they're going to be medium to maybe large dogs.
Get your
hard to
paws off
tell.
me.
And Rena warned me that you're not going to pay attention to me. So
Yes, exactly. Keep your paws off me. Take them off. All these are great. And this is, let's give some attention to who?
This is Cindy. Cindy, and they are just lovable, adorable. They love to play together.
Oh, hi,
they
Cindy.
sleep together. They're siblings, so they're just very bonded. We're trying to get them adopted out together. However, Sue has been we're so thankful for this woman because she's been fostering these
Thank
2
you, Sue.
pups.
Thank you very
And
much.
took on a lot. She's got 2 of her own.
At the Humane Society, you can get involved, of Blue Ridge, Humane Society of Blue Ridge, you can get involved in so many different ways. Volunteer programs, fostering, if you could just please foster some of these beautiful dogs and cats when needed, they would greatly appreciate it. That's the Humane Society. Now, Yogi, let's talk. Now, there would be rules. You ready? Are you ready? There would be rules.
He says you have to take
I wrote you a song. Who's the pup pup? Who's the pup pup? Who the pup pup? Who the pup pup? That's the song I wrote.
We
Who
do
is the
have
pup pup?
opportunities that if they can be fostered together, foster to adopt, we're willing to
You know
do
what
that.
I do? I'm not paying attention. You know what I do? I always get a puppy. When I get a new puppy, I do the puppy song. You ready? Strawberries, blueberries, all kinds of berries, all kinds of berries.
Cindy's like, I'm checking out.
They love to give kisses.
This is my puppy song.
Yes.
Oh, who the puppy?
And they just, they're just very playful. They're so fun to watch together.
Have I told you this is wrong?
I know.
Sam's in trouble too, because Sam has known for days this was going to happen. This is the major. Ladies, thank you so much. Now let's talk about the intake process. You do have an intake process. Have these puppies gone through the intake process?
They have gone through the intake, and then Sue decided she would foster them for us. So they are at her home currently. So the general public can't just come in and see them.
Right.
They need to make an appointment with us.
But they are ready. They've gone through and they're ready for.
They're ready not for adoption. They can be fostered to adopt until they're spay and neutered and they have their last vaccinations. So they're only about 10 to 11 weeks old right now. So we're looking at about a 3-month window before they're ready to be fully
And
adopted.
obviously I was not paying attention. This is my serious point. Do we know what kind of dogs? Do we have an idea
We
yet?
don't, because we were not able to locate the mom and dad.
Just
So,
lovable, great
just
puppies.
lovable,
You're
great
beautiful, too.
puppies.
I'm
Yes,
sorry.
they are. We would love
I'm
for them
sorry.
to go together because they're so bonded together. Sue has got her hands on Cindy. She really would like Cindy, but she is willing to give them as, adoptable together if there was a family, a home that was willing to foster to adopt them together.
So this is Yogi and Cindy.
Mm-hmm.
This is Yogi and Cindy. They are available at the Humane Society of Blue Ridge. But first of all, folks, the Humane Society of Blue Ridge, they require a meet and greet because we try to match up with family and other pets that you may have. So you got to schedule a meet and greet to come up and visit these dogs with the Humane Society of Blue Ridge. And then also, you're just laying
And
right
we
out
also
there.
have cats, lots of cats that need to be adopted as well.
Yes, they have cats. Lots of cats that need adopted as well.
And kittens.
And kittens. Beautiful, lovely kittens. And I said it with a smile. Okay? The Humane Society of Blue Ridge.org. Do you know the phone number out there?
It is 706-632-HELP or 4357.
And they also have a Facebook page and all of the pictures of these beautiful pets. Now look at them. Tell them. Yogi, say, I need my forever home. Tell them. Don't make those noises. All right? We're trying to find you a house, okay?
You know, if it can be a local family, that's what we would prefer if they foster to adopt. But, you know, that's really, because they're being fostered, they should be local.
Yogi and Cindy are waiting for their forever home, and you can find them along with the other great pets at the Humane Society in Blue Ridge. It has been a great morning here at Circuit World in Blue Ridge. Beautiful day, beautiful weather. Let's get out and enjoy this North Georgia weather. Maybe we have to go get some allergy medicine, but I can stay all day with this. This is my pooch. We have to go. Yes, you have something else?
You can look us up on our website. It's www.humanesocietyofblueridge.org, or like us on Facebook.
Hello, Rena. We miss you, but these ladies have done a great job, and we can't wait for you to get home.
Yeah,
we'll be back Monday morning, FYN TV, Good Morning from the Office, BKP, 8 a.m. Let's go.